In December 2010, Mohamed Bouazizi, a Tunisian street vendor, set himself on fire after facing humiliation at the hands of local authorities. But the flames didn't remain confined to his body. They ignited something else, a post on Facebook. That single digital spark lit an entire region ablaze, spreading across screens faster than any wildfire. Soon millions took to the streets, their voices amplified by clicks, likes, and shares. It skipped the censors, leapt across borders, united nations, and lit the uprising we now know as the Arab Spring. The revolution began, not with a government speech, not with a newspaper headline, but with a simple social media post. That post travelled faster than any news anchor's voice could in the age of TV. 12 years later, a young woman named Mahsa Amini died in the custody of the morality police in Tehran. Within days, her name became a cry in every corner of the vast country of Iran, with various ethnicities. They all chanted, "Women, life, freedom." Millions of Iranians inside and outside the country turned their grief into a digital storm. Tweets, TikToks, Instagram reels, echoed by global celebrities, amplified by hashtags. But then, silence. An internet shutdown by the order of the government dimmed the fire. Without connection, without the spread of information, even outrage gasps for breath. So, it's safe to say this. Both stories prove how social media can ignite a movement beyond government control, even though in the second, when the internet was cut by the order of the authorities, that global unity was affected. Another reminder of how media can shift the course of history. Which brings me to you. Let me ask you a question. What's your take on the conflict between Palestine and Israel? Now pause. Think deeply. How exactly did you reach your conclusion? Did it come from the raw reality, or was it shaped through filters, algorithms, and carefully selected narratives on your screen? How differently would you feel if just for a moment your phone vanished, your social media went dark, and you were left only with your own eyes, your own experiences? Welcome to Humans Online. War is no longer only the clash of armies. It's the clash of narratives, fought in feeds, hashtags, and viral videos. That is what this episode is all about. Trying to say, social media is our new front line. It isn't just a communication tool. It's an emotional amplifier, a collective diary, and at times, a weapon. In the days of radio and TV, the story was what the broadcaster chose. You sat, you watched, you received. Now, you scroll, you share, you perform outrage, and the algorithm watches you back. And yet behind this freedom, there are unseen gatekeepers. Before we go on, let's be clear. This isn't about paranoia. We're not here to fear media or run from technology. That's not the point. Media is a tool, just like language or fire or the wheel. But any tool is only as powerful as the hand that holds it and the mind that understands it. Right now, artificial intelligence might be the headline. But the era of social media is not over. If anything, we've barely begun to understand its influence. So, in this section, we'll look at a few foundational theories from communication studies, ideas that explain how media shapes attention, emotion, and belief. Not to judge, but to recognize the architecture behind our experience. Because once you see the pattern, you can decide where to stand. Agenda setting theory. This theory simply says, what you see first becomes what you think about most. Platforms push certain stories to the top, not necessarily because they're true, but because they're clickable. Here's a tangible example. You see this happening when celebrity trials dominate headlines, just like the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard court case, while major global events go underreported. Framing theory. This one says it's all about perspective. The same act can be called resistance or terrorism, heroism or brutality. The frame changes the moral weight. An example you see every day? How about media headlines about Palestine-Israel conflict? Spiral of silence. According to this theory, if you think your opinion is unpopular, you're less likely to speak it. Social media echo chambers make some voices loud, and others disappear. Confirmation bias. We choose our reality. We seek what agrees with us and reject what doesn't. Our feeds quietly oblige, reinforcing what we already believe. Did you know that 65% in advanced economies believe social media changes minds on political issues? Or slight early upvotes can increase post-virality by 25%. With all that being said, let's now freshen our perspective. In the Vietnam era, protest music and unflinching TV images of body bags shifted public opinion. Culture was the counterweight to propaganda. Today, algorithms replace the TV editor. They decide what burns hottest on your feed, not because it's urgent, but because it keeps you here longer. And if that's not enough, just add AI. Deepfakes that mimic leaders' voices, generative text crafting fake speeches, artificial outrage factories that swarm hashtags. Governments once feared the printing press. Now, they fear the machine that can produce infinite versions of reality. Truth online isn't a single object you can pick up. It's more like a mosaic, pieces scattered across the digital landscape. Open-source investigators stitch these fragments together. Fact-checkers debunk the forgeries. But in the storm, even clarity can feel fragile. And yet, one personal story, told with honesty, can still pierce the noise, shifting a stranger's view across the globe. We are the first generation to witness wars in real time through a pocket-sized screen. We are also the first to fight over what is real. If algorithms dictate our outrage and artificial intelligence shapes our empathy, who writes our reality? Are we fighting each other, or the architecture of our own illusions? This isn't the end of the conversation. It's an invitation. Share your truth. Let's explore together.